you have anything to do with American Werewolf in Paris?
I cashed the check.
Does it piss you off as much as...
It doesn't piss me off. No, it's just a bad movie. It's not something. Dick Cheney pisses me off. Henry Kissinger's alive and well. That pisses me off. But no, that's just a bad movie.
Is there a specific reason you haven't made more movies as of late?
No one would give me a job.
It's because they won't hire you. It's not because you just haven't done good projects.
Truthfully, my last 2 studio pictures were both weird experiences for different reasons. I made a picture called Beverly Hills Cop 3 as a favor to Eddie, and it was a terrible script, and we had to shoot, and I figured, well, Eddie and I will make it funny. Have you ever seen Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes.
That was a terrible screenplay, but a really funny movie. And it's a funny movie because Marty Brest, the director, and Eddie Murphy made up everything funny in it. Like even Bronson Pinchot's, he's not in the script. That's, all improvised. And if you look at it again, you'll see Damon Wayans and, Marlon and all these comics and shit. They just went in there and they made it funny. Every funny line is either Eddie's or Judge's, and they just made it up. So I'd done that, so we could do that. And Eddie and I had a terrible falling out on, what's it called, Coming to America. So years later, I get a call from Sherry Lansing of Paramount saying, would you like to make Beverly Hills Cop 3? And I said, well, who's playing Eddie Murphy? And it turned out this is his half-assed way of apologizing. So I met with Eddie and I said, look, you can't be late. And he said, no, man. So he was never late. But I realized I was fucked the second day of shooting because we were doing a thing and I gave him some shtick and he said, no, I can't do that. That would be wise ass. I said, Eddie, Axel Foley's wise ass. And he said, no, Axel Foley's a man now. It's like, what? It took a while to figure out. It turned out Eddie was incredibly jealous of Denzel Washington and Sam Jackson and what's his name, Wesley Snipes. They were all making these big action movies. So he wants to be an action guy. So if you look at that, it's the weirdest movie because, Eddie walks up to a joke and then remember President Bush and that shoe? That's what he does, He didn't want to be funny. So I made this weird movie that was weird. So that wasn't a great experience. And then I made Blues Brothers 2000, which is a movie that has spectacular music. But the studio really fucked us and dicked us around. It was my first experience with the new studios. With NBC Universal owned by General Electric. And I thought, Jesus Christ, they really fucked us. Danny and I wrote a good script by draft 19, because they said it had to be PG, which immediately meant that the Blues Brothers couldn't swear, which is cutting their nuts off, The first movie's rated R. There's nothing in it other than language, but then it had to have a child in it. It was like, what? Then it had to have a black blues brother. We were like, why? And then and the producer, Leslie Belzberg, correctly said, they don't want to make the movie, so here's the deal. If you say yes to everything, they have to make the movie. It was true. And I read, if you saw the one, by the time the script was like 18 drafts, by the time it got to where they greenlit it, John Goodman no longer had a character to play. What's John Goodman do? He stands there. It was like, it really sucked, and I was very upset about it, and I didn't want to make it. And then Danny Aykroyd, who's a great man and a wonderful person, and a motorhead, he's like, it's about the music, John. We must put these people on film. It's about it. He's very packed. That whole Mission from God, I made that up because I was making fun of Danny. Because he was really evangelical about this rhythm and blues stuff. And I have to say, ironically, the second movie, it's incredible how many people who were in that movie have passed away, and it's the only time, Bo Diddley, who's that? Isaac Hayes, Lou Rawls, Grover Washington Jr., Wilson Pickett. I'm trying to think, Junior Wells, Little Walter. So many people were in that picture have died. So in some ways, it is true. It did put these people on film. I think what you should do, it's a good movie to show to children because there's nothing in it that would bother a child at all. It's perfectly fine. But I also think that the musical numbers are great. We recorded most of it live because of the new digital recording. It's incredible. So, and that thing at the end with Eric Clapton and B.B. King, and that's live. It's amazing. So, or buy the CD, one of the two.
So was it trouble to get started on Burke and Hare because of the past two films?
Oh man, no, not because of those films. I studios.
Yeah.
And no, I've been offered movies, but they're shit. You know,
Right.
you get to a point. I'm in my 50s. You know, you get to a point when you go, I don't want to make shit anymore. You know, in the studios now, it's like, hey, there are black people in this, and they sing John Landis. I'm convinced, or I get comedies like, hey, this is stupid. John Landis. I'm offered, a lot of films I've been offered get made too, and they suck, and then they're big hits, and now you want to kill yourself.
Besides Let the Right One In, is there any other current movie
I love
that stands out?
See that movie?
Yeah.
It's really good.
And they're remaking it, of course, so.
Well, an American version, that's
Right.
all right, that's okay.
But any other current crop of films that stand out to you?
Yes, there's a picture coming out on DVD because the schmucks at Warner Brothers wouldn't put it out theatrically. That was, I think it's 2 or 3 years old, but called Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I saw that.
It's really good. I like that picture. And have you seen that, Tom? It's really good. And then what else? I don't know. They've been good. I don't know. I'm sure they're good movies. They've been good movies. Mostly, though, movies are bad.
We have another question.
You know what movie I can't wait to see? 2012. I can't wait. That looks like the stupidest. I love Independence Day. My wife and I went to the world premiere of Independence Day, and that was a big. And I don't think I've laughed that hard since Richard Pryor. I loved Independence Day. That made me cry. I was laughing so I can't wait. Roland Emmerich fucks the world again. I mean, all his movies are the same. It's like, we'll destroy the White House again. It's like, Meister, we got them. You know, and like, he makes the dumbest. Do you see BC? 1 million BC? 10,000 BC. I love that movie. It's like, here are the black people, here are the brown people. We need a God to come. Hey, he's white, got blue eyes. Did you notice that? The God guy's the only white guy in the movie. It's like, I am the way. Like, fuck you, Roland. I mean, I love, but I have to say, I love his movies. I think they're great. And this movie looks so funny.
Yeah.
And Independence Day, how great was that? Awesome! It's like a black guy and a Jew save the world because the aliens use Mac computers. It was the dumbest fucking. I love that movie. And you know, you want to see destruction? And have you seen the trailer for 2012?
Yes.
Great.
Craft carrier hits the White House.
The whole fucking world and Los Angeles, Britain looks great. I can't wait. I mean, now that's a movie you have to spend a lot of money on. To be that stupid cost a lot.